Hello and welcome to My Retro Watches. In this episode I'm going to take this bezel from a Seiko, surprise surprise, and I'm going to repaint the numbers because some of the numbers have come off and the other numbers are a bit faded. I'm going to show you how I do this. It might not necessarily be the right way. Is there a right way to do it? I don't know, but I'm going to show you how I do it. I get fairly good results. I've done a few of these in the past and hopefully you're going to like this one. So we're going to cut to the bench in just a moment and have a good look at it. So other than that, I have got lots of other videos on the way. I've got quite a few projects going on. Of course, the world is a bit of a strange place right now with the coronavirus kicking us all into touch. I'm not going to dwell on that. That's not for me to talk about. I'm just going to try and keep you entertained with as many watch videos as I can. Certainly now we are in lockdown in the UK, so I'm just going to try and film as much as possible, really. Hopefully some of you guys might enjoy the stuff that I'm going to create. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's cut to the bench and have a look at this bezel. Okay, here we are. So this is the bezel that we're going to be working on. You can see it a bit closer now, and you know, the loom pip's still there and okay. I don't really want to touch that, but I will have to remove the paint in there. The whole idea is to paint these back white, and rather than just do the ones that are missing, best do the whole thing so that it all looks nice and new, despite the fact the bezel has got some wear to it. So what we'll need to do, of course, is remove the old paint that's left, and that is just a bit of a laborious task, and all I use, trusty old toothpick, really. I've only ever worked on ones that are old like this, and it seems to be quite easy to come off. Of course, if it's a bit more modern, you might need to use some acetone or some sort of chemical perhaps to get it off, but all I'm going to try and do is get it in the letter there. Well, it's not a letter, is it? Of course it's a number, and as you can see, that came out quite easy. Just do that 5. Oops, I broke the toothpick already, so I'm struggling with that one, and maybe I need something just to get it started. What have we got? I've got a tiny little screwdriver here. I guess we've got to be careful not to scratch stuff, but of course, because we're painting, so that one's a bit more. I keep breaking this toothpick, so that's not going to be the best result, is it? I've got some, well, I'll tell you what, I've got some brass tweezers. So let's try the brass tweezers because they're a little bit softer. And as you can see now, that is making quite light work of the job. So I'll continue to strip these off, and you can enjoy my painstaking work on that in a fast stop motion video. Okay, that took 7 minutes according to my camera. Brass tweezers are a little bit softer than this particular material. I'd guess it's not stainless, but it's some sort of steel, hard-wearing steel, so the brass isn't really going to scratch it. There are a few little bits that I've still got to pick out, which I'll do that next really in preparation, because what I need to do now of course is clean it. Now I'm going to clean it with a little bit of mild soap and a toothbrush or something, and then I will wipe it down with IPA alcohol in preparation then to start painting. So I'll go and do that, and the next bit I'll show you is how to paint. Okay, it's all been cleaned. I've got some IPA alcohol in a little jar, cotton bud, and we'll just give it a light coat. That's just going to make sure it is as clean as it can be for the new paint. And this stuff dries really quick, so you don't have to worry too much. I would limit how much you might put on the loom pip if you were keeping the loom pip there. To do a new one of those, incidentally, I don't know enough about them to be honest, but I've picked them out before if they're damaged, and just used normal loom powder and built it up, and then once I'm happy that it's high enough, I use a little bit of clear coat model enamel paint just to go over the top of it to seal it off, because I kind of think that when it's open to the elements or water or something, it might start to get into the loom and break it up, so I coat it in something. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. When you look at this particular one, might not show in this light, it does sort of gleam a bit, so it does indicate that it's got something over that. So we are ready to paint. So the question is, what are we going to paint with? So obviously I'm painting this white. You can paint these any colours you want, and I'm using this is Humbrol. It's just a model paint. I'm sure you can get this in just about every country in the world. This is enamel paint, and it is matte white. So I'm going to open that up. And what you've got to make sure with these enamel paints, certainly if you haven't used them for a long time or you've just bought it, is that you mix the hell out of it. You've got to spend quite a long time because the oils in there don't, if they don't mix correctly, when you actually paint it and let it dry, certainly on matte, what I've found is if you haven't mixed it right, you paint on the matte. Of course, it looks all glossy when you first put it on, as you understand, but when it dries, it's still glossy. And that is purely because you haven't mixed the paint enough. So there's a little tip. I will leave a link down below for some affiliate. I think I've got an eBay link for this if you want to buy this very one. I know that's a bit petty, but it just helps if you want to do that. Now, you might think, well, it's going to be really tricky. How do we get into all these numbers? And that's what I thought when I first did them. The only tricky part on this one is going to be going around that loom pip. To be honest with you, I'm almost tempted to leave it alone. I would prefer the black against the white pip, to be honest with you, but we'll do all the others first. And all I do is, well, I'm very heavy-handed, to be honest with you. I just paint it. And I'll show you a little magic trick that I use. So I'm going to get some paint onto my brush. And we'll start with this 55. And quite literally, I just paint it. And all I'm looking for really is that I've got a lot of paint in the actual number itself. So it is filling up the cutout, if you like. I mean, I guess you don't want it right up to the very top, potentially. As you can see, I am absolutely no artist, but there we go. So I've painted those numbers, and you think, well, that's crazy, isn't it? So watch this. I'm just going to get my thumb, And I'm going to wipe it. Then you might want to wipe it again, depends on how good you've done it. And believe it or not, that doesn't look bad. It looks like I've missed a little bit down the bottom there, but I am kind of rushing for the video really. And of course, while it is still wet, of course you can go back and you can touch up where you don't think you've done it enough, like so. So that is how I'm going to paint the whole of these. So I'm going to do all the numbers. We'll do these little little pointers, and then we'll see what it looks like at the end of that. Right, okay. What do you think to that? I think it looks not too bad, to be honest with you. And what will happen now, of course, is it will dry. Because it's enamel paint, it will probably take quite a long time to dry or cure, probably a couple of days perhaps. And then what I would do, if I think I've still got a little bit of excess showing where I've wiped it with my finger, of course I can take that off with a bit of nail polish remover, or maybe just a bit of alcohol. What to do with the loom pip here, it does look a bit odd, doesn't it? It's a shame, because if the pip had been whiter, that might help. So perhaps I might redo that. I don't know at the moment. This isn't my watch actually, this is for a colleague of mine. So if I'm going to repaint that, if truth, I'm going to do that off camera, because I want to make sure I paint closely to that, but not over it. And of course I won't be using the white method there. I'll have to just be very careful how I put it in the recess. So I'm going to do that now, and then I will come back and show you that, and then finish the video. Okay, I've attempted to paint that end bit, and I'm not happy with it really. I just don't think it looks nice, to be honest with you. Everything else looks good, the numbers look good, but that is quite tricky to get in there in a way. But I'm going to strip that off, I think, and talk to my colleague and see if he wants me to reloom the pip. Now, you will see this bezel actually on the watch in an up and coming video, because I've been videoing this watch and what I've been trying to repair on it. So stay tuned for that. But I will end this video here for now, and obviously you'll have to watch the next video to see exactly what I've done up here. So, you know, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. It really is important to me. It also helps the algorithm and brings more and more people to the channel, which is what I want. Please leave comments below if you've got any tips of how to do this better, or whether I've been doing it wrong. Leave them down below. I'm here to learn as much as you guys are. And don't forget, of course, to join the Facebook group, Retro Vintage Watches and Restorations, full of over 7,000 people now and counting, and we're all watch mad in there, and lots of people will help you with your questions should you have any. And of course, I'm in there very active as well, so you can communicate with me if you wish. So that's it. Again, thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, everybody out there, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.